Welcome to the Grateful Living podcast. Hi, I'm Talisha Meyer. I'm a holistic massage therapist, wellness facilitator, and writer. I've actually spent the last 4 years building my business, helping women reconnect with their bodies, heal, and feel safe in themselves again. Healing has always been part of my life. From such a young age, I was caring for loved ones. I've always been drawn to caring for others emotionally, physically, and energetically. As a child, I'd often set up a little massage space under my bunk bed, complete with crystals and music, giving head and back massages to any of my family members willing to sit down. Later in life, after caring for my mum through her illness and my granddad too, and witnessing the subtle ways trauma showed up in my family, I became fascinated by the connection between mind, body, and emotional healing. I started my career writing and publishing poetry, exploring shadow work, self-expression, but years later, working in a mental health charity and witnessing environments that didn't align with my purpose, I realised my calling was helping people heal, especially women, in a more hands-on, holistic way. So the first year of building my business felt really slow. Some weeks I didn't even have a client. I was doing contract work on the side just to keep momentum going. And I had no idea how to get more clients or how to build a business sustainably. I was literally learning as I went along, doing admin, experimenting with techniques, and quietly figuring out how to hold space for people's healing. Around my second year of business, I took a detour into sales. Something that at first felt completely outside of my comfort zone. And I remember thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? I wasn't sure that I was even going to make one sale. So my first big moment was hitting a personal best of 6 sales in a single day. At the start, like I said, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to convince one person to buy from me. Then I hit 8 multiple times over a couple of months, and each success was literally a revelation. It taught me something that stayed with me ever since. In business, it's not about who gets it first, it's about perseverance. Those who learn slowly, who face rejection and keep going, often last the longest because they've learned resilience and consistency. While working full-time in sales, I was still quietly building my business. I was focused on skills development, so networking, public speaking, emotional regulation, leadership, business acumen, and I was learning to tell my story with confidence. I was really developing an entrepreneurial mindset and resilience, while also learning the behind the scenes of running a business, understanding strategy, analysing results, tracking KPIs, and approaching people with confidence. These things I couldn't learn in a book or from day one in massage. They were lived experiences that shaped me into a better healer, businesswoman, and leader. So all of these lessons translated directly into how I run my business today, how I approach clients, how I deliver workshops, building a brand, and leading women in a way I never could have imagined 4 years ago. I really didn't realise it at the time, but this experience was really laying the foundations for everything I was building in my business. By May last year, I felt fully ready to take the leap and go full time with my business. But I won't lie, it was absolutely terrifying. Earlier part of 2025 had already been so heavy. I had a loved one battling terminal cancer, and watching that really made me question so many things. Where I was at in my career, what I truly wanted to do, and how I wanted to spend my time. It made me look at the sales industry and really reflect. Yes, I loved it, but my passion was for helping women heal, and that just kept pulling me back. For so long, I thought I had to be some perfect version of myself, some amazing, fully ready person before I could truly serve. But this experience reminded me that I could serve straight away with the tools and knowledge and heart I already had. And I realised if I didn't take action now, if I didn't fully commit to the work I was meant to do, I might never get the chance to make the impact I wanted. By December 2024, I'd actually set a goal for myself. I wanted to organise a Women's Wellness Day. I wanted women to have access to different healing modalities, to feel seen, heard, and supported. I really wanted to create experiences which I knew could make a real difference. And everything I was witnessing with my loved one, the challenges, the lack of access to information and support, just reinforced why this work matters so deeply to me. It also brought up a lot for me, a lot of memories to do with my mum, and I was thinking about how things might have been different for her if support and healing had been accessible in her life. And that's why I knew I had to do this wellness day. Whilst in the midst of planning this wellness day, my dad became very unwell, and it was very scary and brought up a lot of fears from my childhood, with the possibility of losing him, the weight of everything I'd carried. And yet, in the midst of the uncertainty, I had to keep moving forward. I had clients more than I'd had previously. I was seeing them regularly. I was doing business coaching on the side. I was leading a team in sales, coaching, recruiting, and helping them hit their goals. I was literally at my breaking point, trying to hold all of that responsibility at once. That's kind of when I was like, yeah, something's got to give. I decided I wanted to leave the sales industry by March, but I wanted to make sure my team was in a good place before I did. So I made a commitment to them, especially one team member, that I would help him achieve his goal first. I had to ensure that I left responsibly and that I hadn't abandoned the people who had trusted me as their coach. And once that was in place, I finally felt ready to take a step into my business fully, and knowing that I was taking the leap with integrity and purpose. That period taught me so much about perseverance, about balancing passion with responsibility, and about trusting myself even when everything feels uncertain. And it was in those moments of fear and doubt that I realized this is exactly where I'm meant to be, fully committed, fully present, and fully ready to help women heal and reconnect with themselves. When I went full-time, I quickly realized that clients don't just magically appear. It's not enough to love what you do or post once on Instagram and hope people will show up. Building a business from the ground up takes consistency, creative, and sometimes exhausting effort. I had to get really inventive about how I marketed my business and reached new clients. I went leafleting, attended workshops, networking events. I did stores, anything I could do to put myself out there in ways I hadn't done before. I became more consistent on social media, invested money into training and a little bit of help. I posted regularly across multiple platforms, sharing stories, tips, and insights into what I do and the impact it has. I reached out personally to previous clients, checking in, reminding them I was available, and inviting them to book again. I also got family and friends to share posts and spread the word. Every little push mattered. It was a lot. Some days I felt like I was juggling 10 things at once: client sessions, marketing, planning events, reaching out to people, following up, and just keeping track of everything. It was exhausting, but also incredibly educational. I learned quickly that running a business isn't just about the service you provide. It's about consistently showing up, putting yourself in front of people, and being proactive every single day. The effort was relentless, and there were moments of doubt, weeks where bookings were slow, days where I questioned if I was doing enough, but I knew that perseverance was everything. Every leaflet handed out, every DM sent, every post shared, it all added up. And over time, that momentum started to build. Clients returned, new bookings came in, and slowly but surely, I was seeing the tangible results of my persistence. This period reinforced one of the biggest truths about business. You have to create opportunities for yourself. You can't sit and wait. You have to be inventive, consistent, and courageous. And that's exactly what I'm committed to doing every single day. Showing up even when it was uncomfortable, uncertain, exhausting. Even with the highs, I won't sugarcoat it, running a business is never without its challenges. There are still moments of doubt, uncertainty, and juggling multiple responsibilities. But each challenge is a reminder of how far I've come and how much I've learnt, how resilient I've become, and how committed I am to this work. As I reflect on these past 4 years, I feel so grateful. Truly, none of this would have been possible without the people who supported me, challenged me, and helped me grow along the way. I wanted to start by thanking my sales coaches, Allery, Joel, Tony, Millie, and also Mario, who shared some incredible insights with me along the way. That experience was so transformational for me. It wasn't always easy, and it's definitely not for everyone, but the lessons I learned and who I became in that environment set the foundation for everything that I'm building today. It was in many ways a school of entrepreneurship. Some of the biggest lessons I've learned, and I hope this resonates with anyone listening who's building their own path, are things like this. Invest in yourself because you are your biggest asset. Surround yourself with growth-minded, supported people because you're the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. Consistency, resilience, and riding the wave of highs and lows is everything. And perhaps the most important one, entrepreneurship is going to bring up all of your triggers, all of your fears, and all of your doubts. But if you persevere, if you commit to showing up and learning from every challenge, you'll grow in ways you never imagined. You fail forward, you learn, and you get stronger every single day. Last year was such a turning point for me. There were moments that really pushed me to the brink. Planning my Women's Wellness Day, persevering despite my dad becoming seriously unwell, losing a loved one to cancer, coaching my team, running a sales business, trying to hit targets and building my client base. It felt impossible at times, but I kept going. I reminded myself why I started. I reminded myself of my vision, and I'm so proud of the resilience it took to see all of that through. I also want to reflect on the leap I took to commit fully to this business. People questioned it, sent me job adverts, suggested safer options, but I took the bet on myself and I decided that this is what I wanted to build, what I wanted to dedicate my life to. Even on days where there was barely £5 in my account, I knew that I couldn't imagine doing anything else because this is my passion and my calling. Looking forward, my vision remains clear. I want to expand my offerings, both online and in person, and ultimately create a holistic space where women can access multiple healing modalities, a safe, nurturing environment where they can reconnect with themselves and truly heal. And while there's so much work still to be done, I feel more prepared, more confident, and more committed than ever. So anyone listening who's on a similar journey, trust yourself, invest in yourself, persevere, and don't let the doubt or fear hold you back. Building something meaningful isn't easy. It's messy, it's challenging, and it will push you in ways you never expected. But if you stay committed, stay curious, and stay compassionate with yourself, it's worth every step. And for me, looking back on these 4 years, it's been the most rewarding journey of my life. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @the_grateful_living.